Tonight, what the White House is offering in light of COVID.
And who the victims of the Malden and Pine City fires are seeking help from. Murrow News 8 starts now.
Murrow News 8 starts right now.
Good evening, I'm Kylie Gibson.
And I'm Alex Biviano. Welcome to Murrow News 8. I'm here in Spokane, where, according to KREM 2 News, a man is in custody for allegedly trying to bomb a union building that serves as the headquarters of the Spokane County Democrats. Sergeant Terry Pruinger of the Spokane Police Department says that man was spotted by a witness carrying a suspicious backpack that had wires coming out of it. Pruinger tells KREM that the suspect started the fire but put it out on his own. Tina Podolowski, chair of the Spokane County and Washington State Democrats, made a statement saying that she believed that the attack was politically motivated.
Washington State University President Kirk Schultz is urging the entire Pullman area to shop at local businesses. Normally, 60% of Pullman's population is students, and without them around to shop local, things have become increasingly difficult. Schultz is hoping all WSU employees will shop local in an effort to help support local Pullman businesses from closing permanently.
Washington State University will hold its virtual commencement Saturday at 10 a.m. While graduation typically features pomp, circumstance, and speakers, this one will feature Zoom, classmates from a distance, and executive board members. People like me who are set to graduate this semester are encouraged to wear their cap and gown while they watch the ceremony on wsu.stageclip.com.
A new poll shows that only half of Americans are ready to be vaccinated. Researchers found that about 25% of Americans don't know if they want to be vaccinated, while the other 25% say they will not get it. Many Americans are going to wait until after the first wave of vaccines have been administered to see if it is safe enough for them.
To teach a man to fish or simply give that man a fish is a question facing Congress today. The House of Representatives passed a bipartisan relief package that focuses on support for small business and extending unemployment benefits before they're due to run out on December 26th. However, President Trump brought a similarly priced bill that would offer many Americans $600 checks similar to the stimulus that was distributed in March. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says that it will not adjourn until a relief bill is passed.
In recent weeks, we have seen that it is no surprise that during this pandemic, students' mental health has suffered. In a recent survey done by Active Minds, 89% of young people say they have experienced stress or anxiety during this pandemic, while 1 in 4 people surveyed have seen a significant increase in their depression since the start of the pandemic. Allison Malman, the executive director of Active Minds, says it is critical to have open conversations about mental health so students feel comfortable reaching out to if they need help. During a summit, Malman said that many young people right now are being told that their struggles don't matter because they haven't had any major problems in their life so far. She goes on to say that young people's struggles matter, and so do they. Malman is attempting to change the culture around mental health and suicide to help young adults get the help they need. Idaho Governor Brad Little said that he would consider any recommendations that came from this summit. With Murrow News 8, I'm Cameron Lyons. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Cameron. Community leaders from Malden and Pine City have requested federal funds to repair the damage caused by the Labor Day fires. Washington Governor Jay Inslee and the Washington State Congress have asked for federal disaster relief for Whitman County, and that 60% of homes destroyed by the fire were either uninsured or underinsured. The letter states that Washington is committed to rebuilding Malden and Pine City, but that is not possible without any federal funding. Both the mayor of Malden and the director of the Pine City Restoration Organization have signed this letter to President Trump.
The Hillside and Cub marketplaces are unlikely to reopen during the spring. The marketplaces closed November 20th because of budget constraints caused by COVID-19, said Jackie LaCroix, associate manager for WSU Dining Services. She says, quote, "There have been a number of layoffs, and that is an unfortunate reality that we are facing right now," she said. Services that are still open like Flicks are likely to remain so in the spring.
Zoom lectures recorded by WSU professors will be deleted if they had been stored in the cloud for more than 6 months. This is a modification of the previous policy, which deleted Zoom recordings after 9 months. Corey Oglesby, communications specialist for the university, said this change was made to preserve storage space on WSU Zoom archives.
Well, it started off as a frosty morning here on the Palouse, but the sun did peek out a little bit today. Ariel Yakabazi has your weather. Ariel?
Thanks so much, Kylie. We're looking at a little bit of cooler weather this week in Pullman. I will be heading home to the west side this weekend, so I'll get that warmer vacation vibe that we all look forward to. Looking at today's forecast out here on the Palouse, though, we're going to have a high of 41 degrees and a low of 27 degrees, and a wind chill factor will be brought in with 13-mile-an-hour winds today, so be sure to bundle up if you head outside. Heading into tomorrow, we're going to notice the same temperatures as today and the same weather conditions in general. It's going to be a very cold in the evening time, so try and stay inside if you can. Heading into the state map, weather seems to be all over the place as far as temps go. There will be a high of 53 and a high of 49 in Olympia and Seattle, respectively, with some cloudy and mostly clear weather conditions over on the west side of the state. And heading into Yakima and the Tri-Cities, we're going to notice a high of 54 in the Tri-Cities and a high of 39 in Yakima, and some freezing fog tonight in the Tri-Cities with a low of 29 degrees. So please be careful and keep warm if you decide to go for an evening stroll, and be safe if you decide to go for a drive this evening. Spokane will also experience some patchy or freezing fog with a low of 27 tonight. There is a hazardous weather warning actually for the next couple of days for most places here in eastern Washington. Fog will affect most of these areas for the next few days. With fog comes low visibility. So if you're heading over to the west side within the next couple of days, be careful and keep your eyes peeled. Before I toss it back to our anchors, I want to take a quick look at the highway cam looking over Snoqualmie Pass. As you can see, it looks a little bit wet, but there shouldn't be too much room for concern with some snow and some rain. This is very typical for this time of year, but have those chains ready and be careful when heading home. That's all I have for weather today. I'm going to toss it back to our anchors. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Ariel. The Northwest League will look different in 2021, and Battle of the Palouse rages on. Humayun Khurram has more.
Thanks, Alex. Washington State will host at Idaho at 6 p.m. today in Bisley Coliseum, empty of fans for the 276th edition of the historic matchup. Things might have looked uncertain for a few days, but the longest continuously played basketball series outside of the Ivy League will not see its streak stop at 114 years, although coronavirus-related policies will prevent the Wheatfield faithful from attending and creating a heated environment. The global pandemic couldn't spoil the Battle of the Palouse men's game. Moving ahead, the Spokane Indians are expected to be among the 120 to survive the MLB invitation list, but their affiliation with the Texas Rangers of 18 years will end. According to Baseball America and other sources, the Indians were invited to become an affiliate of the Colorado Rockies, but also next year's schedule is still not sure with the pandemic. The 5 other NWL teams to probably receive invitations are Tri-Cities, Vancouver, Everett, Hillsborough, and Eugene. After a 15-day layoff, Lamar Jackson is back in action and directed a relentless rushing attack that the Baltimore Ravens hope will be the first big step in a run to the playoffs. Jackson ran for 94 yards and a touchdown, and the Ravens returned from a COVID-19 outbreak to 294 yards, rushing in a 34-17 defeat of the Dallas Cowboys. Playing for the first time since November 22nd after a positive test for the virus, Jackson carried 13 times through 2 scores. Also, after postponing Saturday's game at Colorado, the Cougs won't leave Pullman until early January. After some members of the Washington State basketball tested positive for COVID-19, the Cougars were forced to postpone Saturday's scheduled game at Colorado. That game with the Buffs was their only road game scheduled for this season until the calendar turns to 2021. In a traditional season, a 10-game homestand would be a dream come true for a head coach. Back to you, Alex and Kylie.
Thank you, Humayun. A fun little story here. A fellow Coug created his Christmas tree building it out of books. Take a look here. Travis Pratt took to Twitter to show off his so-called book tree. It got likes on the post. Pretty clever twist to a Christmas tree there with this year. Thanks for watching. If you missed anything in this or any of our previous newscasts, you can always watch us on our YouTube channel.
More news can be found at nwpb.org/mn8, and you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Have a good night.